Welcome, beautiful soul. I'm Vidette Mayer, and I want to welcome you to this space. No matter where you are in the world in this moment, with you here, we are connecting at the heart level, and that means a lot to me. So thank you for being here. I had a message that came through from my guides to all of the Lightworkers, the Starseeds, the wild spirits, high vibe souls in the world. And if you know nothing about any of those terms and think they're a little bit woo-woo, this is for the souls right now, and it could be very much to you as well, since you are here. The souls that are feeling the pain of our world and our planet right now. And I'm not speaking about the individual life pain that you might have, some darkness or maybe some density that you are maneuvering through. I'm talking about a higher level perspective of looking at the pain and the suffering in the world, the fear that is happening at the moment, and you can feel it. And you are feeling called to be a part of the answer. You are being called from that soul level to be part of the change, part of the evolution, this chaos that we're in. You have a deep innate knowing that you are part of pulling us out, us as a collective, as humanity, out of that. And yet when you really tap into that feeling, you think, who am I to do any of that? This message is for you. This message is for you because we as a collective, those of us who are all feeling that and who are all willing to do the work, as a collective, when we start to ascend to higher levels of being and to higher levels of conscious awareness and perspective, and we all do this in our own lives, as a collective, we have to then, by the laws of quantum physics, we then help to raise the frequency and the emotional well-being of the collective humanity. This is ours to do. So this discomfort and this confusion that you might feel, this feeling of, I don't know what to do, but I'm here to do something, is all about a call for you to step into an evolutionary ascension into who you are meant to be. And you might say, yes, that's it. That's exactly what I want. But where do I even begin? I want to tell you a little bit of a story, a backstory on my own evolution and how I got here, right now, to share the story with you. Because I think it's a prime example of how our evolutionary growth takes us and calls us when we are ready. For a decade now, I've been on this journey of spiritual growth, physical growth, personal development, and business development, starting a business 12 years ago and having it morph into so many different iterations, not because I didn't know what I was doing. Maybe a part of that was some of that, but a lot of it is as I ascended in frequency and into more of a connected, intuitive way, I was able to then see more clearly. I was starting to then open up clarity of like, oh, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. It's actually this, and shifting, consistently shifting into different evolutionary aspects or versions of myself. I am now shifting into another aspect, a higher level version of myself that is here to assist this collective of individuals who are feeling the urge to help. We call these people light workers. I don't know if you can hear that bird. It's amazing. We call these people light workers. We call them starseeds. Those are the people that were here, the souls that were brought to the earth at this time, so that we could, as a collective, band together and help the planet ascend in frequency. And in doing that, we also have to dissolve the darkness. We have to dissolve the systems and those in higher levels of leadership that are not of a higher frequency. So that's all taken care of itself. But while it's taking care of itself, it's sending most of humanity into a tailspin and into fear and figuring out, what does my life look now? I've lost everything. I've lost my job. I've lost my stability. I've lost my ability to feel safe going out into the world. And that is ours to do. It's ours to help them ascend into higher levels of being so that they can see more perspectives, more possibilities, and help them grow into who they truly are. But it first starts with us recognizing who we are and stepping into that higher level. One of the higher levels that I've been asked, literally, I did a video on it last week, was to step into the part of me that I've been hiding for a long time. Not hiding in shame, but hiding in that I'm like, I'm gonna keep this little thing quiet that I do. And yet it's the thing that brings me so much joy and so much clarity in my life. And that is the use of divination cards, tarot decks, oracle cards, whatever you want to call them. And right now I want to demystify the woo-woo perspective of it and really step into, how does this translate into the modern day world, and how does it translate into helping myself and helping you really step into who you are. This process, this tool that I use has been transformational for myself. Divination cards have not acted for me as a way of knowing what intuitively I need to do. What they do is I listen and I hear my intuition call and use the divination cards as a tool to bring the intuitive message into the physical world. So when it reflects what I'm getting in my intuition, it then solidifies that message into the world, and it also has created a confidence in me in what my messages are and how they translate into the world. This has been my work behind the scenes for a long time, building and developing my intuition, and that has led into psychic gifts and connecting at a higher level into the multidimensional level of being, to where now I can connect pretty quickly and pretty easily to higher dimensional beings of light. You can call them celestial beings, definitely angels are in there. And these celestial beings are helping me now to bring this tool that I have mastered over the last decade into a more public forum, so that I can help you then understand the messages that are attempting to come through, but yet they're attempting to come through in energetic distortions that sit there and reside there. Those energetic distortions are outdated limitations, outdated thoughts, outdated behaviors, outdated habits that are distorting this beautiful message and this beautiful call that's coming through. When you understand what this message is, you then know what to do with it. You have clarity and you can step forward towards the outward expression of what you're being called. Clarity comes, the distortions, the overwhelm, the confusion starts to lift, and you start becoming that clear channel. So how do I help you get there? One of the things, the most amazing and beautiful things that I have channeled from these light beings are, and these light beings is a collective of beings. They are called Leo to me. It's the Light Evolution Operative. I know it sounds so crazy and it's so hard for me to say it out loud, but I'm going to share it because it is my weird, and the message for me is to step into a full expression of my weird. And if this isn't for you, then I welcome you to stop this video and walk away. And yet, if this is something where you're like, there's something in here, I have been there, and I have always just followed the weird. And the more I followed the weird and the things where I'm like, man, that person's pretty courageous for saying that out loud, I then have permission to step into that. I no longer need permission. I just get the message, and there is some resistance. I'm not going to lie, but this resistance really is just me shifting some of the distortions that I have thought for so long. So as I step forward in the fear and in the resistance of it, I also know I'm clearing those distortions, and I'm clearing the fears of judgment and what others are going to think of me. And the more I do that, the less I care about what people, it's not that I don't care and I'm going to be irresponsible. If that's not for you, then I'm not for you, and that's okay. But if you are still here and you're like, I want to know more, the Leo, this collective of light beings who I have been working with, gave me last week, I downloaded a beautiful code on how to help others through the tool of divination. And it's called the pyramid reading. What the pyramid reading really is to help you determine where you are right now in frequency. This is really important. This is an evolution of what you may already know of divination readings, where you read the past, you read the present, and you read the future. The past, where we are right now in humanity and in this evolutionary time, the past has no longer any reflection of what is happening now. Now, we do bring some of the energy, or a lot of the energy, from the past. However, we no longer need to go there. The present moment is where we have to be and have to be aware of in order to understand where we go from here. So we are just simply looking through the use of divination cards where we are, where you are in this time. Those cards will include the energy that you're bringing from the past. However, when we activate this pyramid reading, we then can, in the quantum level, can completely clear any distortions that you've brought from the past. We don't have to go revisit the past. We simply need to know what is here, what is bringing you here, and what frequency you are operating at. So the pyramid code is literally, the pyramid code reading is literally showing you all aspects of you and where you are energetically. The first eight cards are tied into your consciousness. I've talked about mindset alchemy for a long time. This is the evolution of it. There are 8 consciousness codes that we operate in every single day. These codes make or break who we are and what our frequency is. So we are going to look at every single one of those codes in detail in a pyramid reading. Additionally, the 8 consciousness codes are if you look at a pyramid, it is the spiritual nature of you. It's the part of you that is unseen, but has a massive effect on how your physical life transforms and how it manifests. So in the pyramid reading, we're looking at the spiritual. Then there's the baseline. The baseline is the heart. We really go into depth into the heart of you, because that's where heaven and earth meet. The heart is the portal. It's the feeling part. So we pull that, we deconstruct all aspects of the heart of you, the emotional center, the soul center of you, to take a look at how are you taking these consciousness codes and translating them into then the bottom part of the pyramid, which is the physical manifestation. When you are aware of all 11 aspects of yourself, from the spiritual to the heart to the physical, you then raise your conscious awareness to where you are clear with where you are. So imagine, I'm going to just use this story really quickly. Before smartphones, when if you're in your 40s like me, or older, if you're younger, you're gonna be like, wait, what's a map? How did you read a map? But for now, just imagine you don't have a smartphone, you don't have Google, and you are in a car and you're completely lost. You're feeling the pain of being lost. You're frustrated, you're confused, you have no idea which direction to go. back in the day, we would have to understand where we were so that we could then figure out or maneuver then to where we wanted to be. So you would get the map out, take a look and identify where you were, and then from there, the journey was a lot easier to get to the destination. So right now, you may know that my destination is to be a light worker. My destination is to make a difference in humanity right now, and yet I don't know where I am. That's what this pyramid reading will do for you. It will help you understand where you are right here, right now, with full clarity on all aspects of you. The mind, body, soul, unseen and the seen, the physical, the spiritual. All of it is encoded in this reading. It's powerful. It is really powerful. At the end of the reading, you will then have a full understanding of yourself, where you are right here, right now. At that point then, you can activate your pyramid reading. That means that you can then step into a higher level of yourself. You can then clear the distortions easily from the quantum level, which then drops them out of your energetic field immediately. And you activate the frequency of your higher self, who then takes you onto the journey. It's like the map, the intuitive map that takes you on the journey to becoming the light worker that you are here to be. One last story I want to share with you. I watched a documentary years ago, and I don't even remember what it's called, but I just remember the overall story because the metaphor in it was so obvious to me. And it was a family who was driving in Alaska on a back road, and they got a flat tire and got stuck. That night, it started to snow, and they ran out of gas, like all the things that could have happened. They ran out of gas, so they couldn't keep the car on. They had a baby, and the mother was, trying to just keep the kids calm, and they knew they were going to die. They felt the pain of the moment. Something needed to shift. So the dad said, I'm going to go, and at the first sign of light, I'm going to walk, and I'm going to go get help. And then the next morning, early in the morning, he took off, and he never returned. What happened was, when he left, he didn't know where he was. So he just started walking in a random direction. And as he walked, of course, the elements started to get to him. The world around him started to break him down. He got hypothermia. He started shedding clothes. They found clothes, in a line, and he ended up being found, and he had passed, and he was completely naked and vulnerable. Why do I share this? It's not to be a message of doom and gloom. It's to listen to the story. They felt the pain of where they were. They wanted to get themselves to safety, to help. And yet, not knowing where they were was the death, physical death of the father. But if you take this metaphor into your own life, if you don't know which way to go, you're going to be walking in circles. You're going, the elements, the world, the chaos, the news, the Facebooks, all of it's going to start beating you down to where you are so vulnerable. Your desire, your calling to be a light worker to humanity is going to fade out. It will die eventually if you don't answer the call now and say, I just need to know where I am. I just need some clarity. That's what this is about. The pyramid reading will give you clarity on where you are. I invite you to enter into this Ascension Collective, to those of us who are willing to get vulnerable. But the vulnerable, that means we're going to stand in our truth of who we are. We are going to put ourselves out there for the highest and best good of ourselves and of humanity, so that we can pull humanity up. We can be the space holders of our planet and of humanity as we help them rise up to higher perspectives, higher frequencies of being, so that they can also be a solution and a help and a guide to others who are also lost and wandering, and the world is breaking them down. We are the map. We are the help. We are the collective that is going to shift humanity for the good of all. If this is you, I invite you to check out the pyramid reading at videttemeyer.com. Come on over, check it out. I think there's a deer or something behind me. I hear it back there. It's pretty cool that he showed up right now. I invite you to help me, or not help me. I invite you to allow me to help you ascend into the highest frequency of being for you, so that you have clarity, you have purpose, you have meaning, and you truly, truly step into who you are meant to be. Thank you for being here. Love to you. Mwah.